Hey, it's Shahara. Welcome back to my channel, to the Witchy Reader. So, I I finished reading Castigate. It took a little bit longer because I've been busy, but I enjoyed it a lot. I haven't done the rating yet, but I'm about to. And I'm going to rate it 5 stars. And I literally just finished it. Um, like the first one, I loved it. It was nice to finally get to meet Hunter and kind of see how his life is since he ran away 5 years ago. And I mean, they in the first book he's talked about a lot. Because Scarlett, who's one of the main characters, is his twin sister, and then Eli, who is now her best friend, was his childhood best friend and first love. So yeah, um, but I love finally getting to meet Hunter. I mean, technically the epilogue in the first book was in his POV, but that was like what, a couple pages, so we really didn't get much of him. We just had him thinking that Scarlet died. Um, that was just what the epilogue was about. But it was a good introduction to the book too, which is about Hunter and his friends. There are again two different POVs: Hunter and one of his best friends, Evan. Um, at the beginning of the story, it's mostly just the three of them: him, um, Hunter, Evan, and Andrew. Andrew I liked at times, but then other times I didn't. I feel like, and I don't think it's necessarily Hunter. I think it's because Anastasia has this hold on him, and it made him. He didn't. She didn't like Hunter finally accepting his magic because betrothed magic. Betrothed is their last name. Um, it's dark magic. Um, and Andrew was listening to him or to her, and started having issues with it as well. Um, so there were times I didn't like him, but there are other times that I did like him, and him and Hunter used to be a thing. Um, but it was interesting because a lot of times you see a character, they're like if they're figuring out their sexuality, it's usually figuring out that they like the same gender, whether it's just the same gender or both genders. They just didn't realize it. But Hunter, he has always known that he likes boys. He's never been attracted to girls until he meets Sabrina. I'm not sure if I shipped them. Like I said, I wasn't sure if I shipped Scarlet and Ash after the truth. It's not that I stopped shipping them. It's just I didn't think she should forgive him so easily. Um, that was my main issue with that. And then near the end of this book, Hunter and Scarlet finally reunited, and I don't know, I felt a little weird with uh Scarlet and Ash just feel like maybe it's because it's not in Scarlet's POV anymore. This book isn't. I'm sure book three will be in Scarlet and Hunter's. At least that's my theory. But and maybe Evans and well, technically Eli. I don't know, cause you still it's complicated. I tried not to be too spoilery, but that's probably going to fail. So if you don't, so I'll try to warn you before I do spoilers. If I think they're major spoilers, then you guys can skip a little bit ahead. Okay, we'll do it that way. If you don't want the spoilers, because you want to read this book, which I definitely highly recommend this series. Book three is not out yet, sadly. I need it to be out now though. So, um, but moving on. um, I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, Scarlet and Ash. Because it's not in Scarlet's point of view, I don't know. They just felt different this time around. I don't know. I feel like I do feel like it has something to do with that secret. They just haven't felt the same to me since. And even beforehand, I was never like. I mean, I liked them together. I thought they were cute, but it's not like something I absolutely loved. Like as much as I love Scarlett and Eli's relationship. That's my favorite relationship so far. Hunter and Evans is probably second. Um, because I do love their relationship as well. But um, so yeah, I don't know. I just feel like there's something broken in Scarlet and Ash's relationship. Maybe that's just me, but they're this may be a spoiler, so skip a minute or so if you do not want the spoiler. But Scarlet and Ash are married now. They eloped. Why? I do not know. That was a little fast. I mean, they haven't even been together that long, right? I mean, technically, there has been quite a big jump from last time we saw Scarlet to when Hunter reunites with Scarlet. So, but I don't think it's been that much of a jump for them to get married. I don't even think it's been a year jump. So, I think it's been like a few months. Um, I don't know. Um, but another minor spoiler because it is mentioned pretty early on. So skip ahead if you do not want to know the spoiler either. Eli's dead. He committed suicide, which is mentioned pretty early on when Hunter tries to call one of Eli's brothers, and finds out that it, he was trying to connect to Scarlet, not Scarlet. He was trying to I don't remember what he was trying to do. That was like the very beginning of the book. He was trying to um connect to them, and they found out that Scarlet and Ash disappeared, which is how he found out she was alive. Because at the end of book one, he thought they were dead, or she was dead. And so but then that's when he finds out about Eli, and then Scarlet and Ash didn't find out about Eli until uh, Hunter and Scarlet reunited, and he told them, and I got sad because I love Eli. He's my second favorite character after Scarlet, and I love Scarlet and Eli's relationship. Um, but apparently he has this whole plan. Like apparently why he did it was well he's very depressed, and so that was part of it. But he also had this entire plan about it, which was just wow. But so he planned to this way he can get closer to their enemy Thomas, who's a demon, and because he can get closer to him if he's dead and watch him and spy on him and stuff to help Scarlet. Um, and then he knew that Scarlet would try to bring him back. He just knew it, so he doesn't think he'll be dead long. Like seriously, and I'm like, wow, at least you have a plan, a death plan. But I really hope Scarlet brings that lie back because she doesn't, I'm gonna be very sad. As sad as I was when I first found out he committed suicide before I heard of his plan, because it was a while before he started showing himself. Um, but yeah, so there's that. Um, Anastasia, I do not like. I hate her. I despise her actually. She's awful. Um, not only was she manipulating Andrew, but just the little snipes she would make, the way she was talking to her dad. I love how her dad stood his ground with helping Hunter and Evan rather than her because she was being a spoiled brat and I did not like her. So yeah. Um and then Sabrina was alright. I don't have many opinions on her, good or bad. She like I said, I don't know about relationship Hunter and Sabrina. Um So there's that. I also didn't like Braylon, how she manipulated Evan, and she's dating Evan's twin brother Ivan, but now she's at the end of the story. She's pregnant with Evan's babies because she manipulated him, and they did things, and I'm just like, wow, wow. I don't like her, and I'm not sure how I feel about Ivan either. Honestly, it's like book one where it's like most of the characters I did not like. So let's talk about the characters I do like. I obviously love Scarlet and Eli and Hunter and Evan, and then I have my moments with Andrew. I feel like the moments I didn't like him was mostly when he was being manipulated to be to act like a jerk with Hunter by Anastasia. But yeah, um, I like Archie. Um, Daphne wasn't on that much in this book, and that was Archie actually. I mean, he was on a few times, but not as much as book one. but Scarlett's always been more into this witchy betrothed magic than Hunter was, so she talked to these demons more. Um, so there's that as well. But yeah, um, but I was so happy when Hunter and Scarlett finally reunited, and I like to see Hunter's growth because he was very he wasn't very confident, and he hated the his magic, and he tries his hardest to reject it and hardly use it unless it just came out because he couldn't control it. But because he never truly practiced it, he had trouble controlling it every so often, which happens obviously. That's why you need to at least learn the magic so that you can control it. If you don't want to use it, fine, but you should at least learn it so that you can control it and it doesn't just come out in spurts when you're emotional. I watch a lot of media about witches and read a lot of things about witches, and that's always a theme in that. So, learning magic. That's all I'm gonna say. um, but I like to see his growth because, like I said, he wasn't very confident. He rejected his magic, um, and he was also a follower. But then he finally steps up to become a leader up until Scarlet, obviously, because she is a leader. Um, but he gets more confident not only in himself but in his magic, and it's really nice to see his growth. You know, that's one thing that he did have that Scarlet didn't, because I don't remember when I was reading book one really seeing much of a growth with her. Maybe that's just me. I do not know, but um, but yeah. So she was always the same, you know, hot-headed, stubborn, leader, didn't take any crap from anybody, which I love about her. Uh, but Hunter, it showed his growth. I mean, he's still the same. Like he was happy to give up leadership to Scarlet in the end because he's not a leader and he doesn't like leading. So he's still the same. He just did grow a little bit. He was able to be a leader when he had to be. He did become more confident in himself and in his magic. Finally accepting the magic he turned his back on so long ago. So that was nice. It was nice seeing him learn his magic and these little things he can do with his magic. Um, so yeah, and it ended off in a cliffhanger. There was a battle with Scarlet, where because they were trying to rescue not Hunt, Evan, who was trapped, and they were trying to save all the Ivan. They were trying to save Ivan as well, and Braylon and all the hunters. Um, so they were doing that, and there was this battle with Thomas. But at the end, Eli comes to Hunter, who um, says that Thomas is back, and he is angrier than ever. And so book three is gonna be interesting. Um, and I'm excited for it because I want to know what happens next. Um, but yeah, I I cannot wait to read book three whenever it comes out. Find out about more how this ends with all of these people, um, and uh, I want Thomas to be destroyed because I hate him. And yeah, so I wonder if we're gonna get see Eli's siblings again, not just Ash, but the other ones, because obviously we still saw Ash since he was with Scarlet. But yeah, um, because we heard a few of their voices when Hunter was on the phone at the beginning when he found out about Eli, but we haven't really. I mean, they were on a good amount in book one because Scarlet was spending so much time over there because well, her life sucked. Her home life sucked, being forced with her uncle who was well just awful, abusive, and everything. And I really liked well, I didn't at first. At first, I pretty much didn't like any of Eli's family. I mean, the ones we saw. We saw Ash, and he seemed. I think I explained this in my first video, but of the first book. But he seemed alright. except when he was with his friends. Um, and then the other brothers, we didn't, his other family, we didn't get really see that much until we started getting more and more into Eli's POVs. Um, and I didn't really like them that much because they all turned their back on Eli. And that one chapter where Eli was going off on them, like, it's about me, not about you, that was epic. But ow, I was doing this and I hurt myself. That was not smart. That hurt my knuckles. But yeah, so I really hope they bring Eli back because if they don't, I will cry. Okay? I will cry. I'm not even kidding. I will cry. I was heartbroken when I found out about Eli because, like I said, he is my second favorite character, even after reading this book. And um, meeting Hunter and Evan and all these other characters. Yes, I love them. Hunter's probably number 3 on my list, but Scarlet and Eli will always have a special place as my 1 and 2 favorite characters. Um, so I hope they bring Eli back, and I also miss Scarlet and Eli's friendship. Like I said, that was one of my favorite parts of book 1. Their friendship, I absolutely loved it. So I want to get more into that. But like I said, I love Hunter and Evan's friendship as well. Hunter and Andrew, or Evan and Andrew's friendship, were a little on and off because Andrew was listening to Anastasia's manipulations. Um, but in the end, it all worked out. Seeing Andrew's with them again, and everything seems fine. So let's hope their friendship's fine for now. But yeah, I remember saying in book 1 that I was kind of hoping Hunter and Eli were gonna get back together. I don't know why, but I don't think that's gonna happen now, especially since he seems to have an intrigue in Sabrina. But we'll see. So I think Hunter is coming to terms with being bisexual. Cause he always thought he was gay because he's never been attracted to women until he met Sabrina. And then there's also Everly who has a thing for him, and that was funny with Scarlet. I never thought she had a thing for him. I just thought she was being, a friend until Scarlet made a comment like she likes you, and he was like, "Shut up," and that was funny. But I liked seeing that when they finally reunited. We only got them in the last at like 6 chapters, maybe 5-ish chapters. Um, but but so yeah, I'm very excited to see how it goes. And what happens next with all of them. And like I said, they better bring Eli back. I miss my Eli. But one thing I do want to say before I end this video is that I loved this one little scene near the end when Eli's talking to Evan. Yeah, Evan. And he's talking about this bond between him and Scarlet, and it goes beyond death because they're soulmates. And Evan's like, "Wait, how can you be soulmates? You're gay." Um, and he's like, everyone has 2 soulmates. Sometimes there's you're one is like platonic and one is like romantic, but I just love that because we don't get enough of platonic soulmates, and I do believe in platonic soulmates. My best friend and I like to say we're platonic soulmates, and I know in my Jasmine Press series, I actually had a similar thing where um, it stated, I don't, either book 2 or 3, I don't remember. I think it's book 3, but how your soulmate is just the person you love the most. It doesn't. Sometimes it's your romantic partner, and sometimes it's not. Jasmine's soulmate was her dead nanny, um, who she was connected to and bounded to because they're soulmates, even though Alice is dead, and so because she's the one that raised her, she was more of a mother or father or parental figure than her own parents. And for her entire life until this journey happened and she got close to Jenny and Jax, Alice was the only person she had, even though she's been dead for a few years when the story starts. So, um, I really like seeing that because I know I wrote something similar, and I find it very hard to find something like that where there is platonic soulmates, and I absolutely love that, especially since I love Scarlett and Elijah's friendship so much. I love seeing that they are platonic soulmates. I love that that's an actual thing in this book because, yes, I love their relationship and I love the idea of platonic soulmates, which isn't talked about or seen enough in media or books, whenever people talk about soulmates, it's always romanticized, and it doesn't have to be. You know, my best friend and I, we are platonic soulmates. And like I said in my Dozen Press series, I had a similar thing where your soulmate didn't have to be romantic, and I just love seeing that one of her that there was a platonic soulmate involved in here, and how it's Elijah and Scarlet because I love it. So yeah, um, I love how her platonic soulmate is Elijah and not Hunter. I don't know why. I just thought of that, but I like it. It's different. But yeah. So yeah, please like and subscribe and check out this book and comment below. And I will chat with you below in the comments. Definitely check out this series, Ritual of the Core Trilogy. Book 1 is Malediction, Book 2 is Castigate. I definitely highly recommend. I loved it. This series is a new favorite, so check it out.